Glad we got this to work.
I know. I was like, I lucky I found the button.
So what do I call you? Daft Husky? Do you have an actual
Um,
name on your birth certificate, or
Husky
is that your
Husky
name?
works for me.
Daft
Some
Husky.
people call me Daft as well, so
Yeah.
it's really up to you.
Cool.
Yeah, but Cheesy. I mean, it's great to meet you as well.
Yeah, dude, you're blowing up. I was like, what's the success behind that? Like, how did that start?
I have no idea, man. I mean, we both have kind of done, I would say, similar content up to a point. Because we're both in the Nintendo realm, and
Mm-hmm.
I think you've had great success as well on here. And it started. Um, Really, I've been making TikTok content since like February last year,
Oh,
with
okay.
the goal of just like promoting my Twitch channel.
Yeah.
Um, and so I started off pretty slow. I was like, I have a bunch of Twitch clips that I can just throw out here. I have no idea how this app works.
Yeah.
This was something that uh, my sister convinced me to download. Like, it was when I was too cool to download it yet.
I was gonna ask. Yeah. Yep.
Uh, and so I went and caved in, and this is during like peak pandemic for me, like living at home and working at home. And so I just started like consuming TikToks and getting into it and starting to post some like original content and branching out of just posting stream clips. But yeah, this year has gone completely crazy just from like nostalgic games and like Wii games.
Yeah.
And lately been playing Rhythm Heaven, and the people love that. So
Yeah, I don't know how you do it because you're not really playing community games. You are playing more niche games and like we play Wii Sports Resort, Rhythm Heaven. So like, why do you think that's working when you're not playing with others?
that's such a good question because uh, generally when I think of streaming, like I have always come at it with how do I get the community involved, and I think with the Wii content and the niche games, it's not so much that the viewers are like actively involved in the gameplay, but they are actively involved in like sort of this like resurgence of like all of our memories of the game. And like I think that people feel a lot of community just around having shared experiences with these older games,
Sure.
and just like reminiscing, and also like uh, you know another big part of my content lately has just been doing challenges, I think, and
Hmm.
like high score attempts and stuff like that, and people like to get rivaled up about that too. So
Well, yeah, I mean they want to see you like succeed,
yeah, I mean,
like accomplish that goal. Yeah.
if you're a streamer, people want to see you succeed,
Right.
whatever you do, and it can be fun to watch.
So you really think that it's a nostalgic uh, based thing, like because I would assume, and I don't know, but I'm assuming that you do have a lot of viewers that don't know what Rhythm Heaven is, or I mean, like I guess we is probably that generation.
Right. Well, it is kind of all in the same spot. I think with like the Wii Play and Wii Sports, there's a much wider audience of people who played those. Rhythm Heaven is a bit more under the radar, and it's also, I mean, it was under the radar for me too. I hadn't ever played it until I decided to try it like a month ago.
Yeah.
And so it definitely came
What's
at
going
the
on,
point.
John Ebo? Sorry,
What's up,
John.
John?
Yeah.
It definitely came at the point where I decided to try Rhythm Heaven because I was like, this is a Wii game, and that's
Hmm.
already what I'm doing, so it kind of fits the tone.
Yeah.
And but I do think like when people are scrolling TikTok, uh, whereas if I were to go live on Twitch with Rhythm Heaven, I would get probably max 5 viewers. Because it's just not an active directory. I mean, there might be some speedrunners here and there, but
Sure.
it's not. It's just a dead category on Twitch. Whereas on TikTok, the algorithm tells people what they want to watch, and 1 minute you're scrolling and you just see Rhythm Heaven on your screen, and you're like, "What in the world is happening?" And it just intrigues people to just keep watching for a minute, and then some people get hooked on after that.
Yeah. Yeah. It is interesting how it works in that way. Like you said, Twitch's discoverability is not great, but TikTok, you come across like Splatoon. There's people that don't know that Splatoon is on TikTok, and then they come across it and they're like, "Whoa, what? Splatoon on my FYP?"
Right.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, and I'd love to hear kind of your background in TikTok as well and in Splatoon, because I know you're a passionate Splatoon fan, and I also have a little bit of Splatoon history on TikTok, so
Yep.
it'd be cool to talk about that as well.
Yeah, so my background was I think started around 2019, and I like to watch a lot of like commentary, like YouTubers, and I would say like 2018 they were kind of making fun of like TikTok or TikTokers, and like, what is this app and why is it getting so many likes and stuff? And I was kind of under the same umbrella, and then 2019 rolled around, and I started to see TikToks on Twitter, and I was like, oh man, they're kind of funny. Like there's something behind this. So I kind of just started experimenting with it. And then mainly it was like coming off of Instagram where I just had Nintendo posts. So I was like, I think I could bring Nintendo over to TikTok, but I didn't really know how the app was going to work. At the time it was a lot of lip syncing or dancing, or you just would take popular sounds and then you just do the trend, which I guess is still kind of how it is today. But I was like, maybe I can make like my consoles kind of talk to each other, and so like it was like a really bad puppet show, but I was like trying to just figure out what would work. And then the Game Awards happened that year, and there was like they teamed up with TikTok, and they were like, hey, do you want to submit a video that might be shown at the Game Awards, that kind of thing. And I was like, all right, I mean, I'll do it. I don't think I'll win, but I read all the rules and what music we had to use, and I just had like this thought, and then I got chosen to be in like the top 5 finalists, and then they announced my name at the Game Awards because my TikTok had won. Yeah, so Jeff Keighley has said my name.
That's so interesting because I probably watched that.
Probably did, yeah. It was a surreal moment. Yeah, I don't know. So I kind of, I guess, started with like popular sounds, because that's the best way, I think, if anyone is trying to learn how to create content or use this app, is you just click on the sound, and that way you have it saved, and you can always go back and try to, make content later. So I was using sounds for popular like Nintendo clips or like YouTube videos that I like had remembered, or like trailers, but you could use with the sound and get a little creative with it. And I've recently have fallen under the umbrella of Nintendo news, but I guess where Splatoon comes in is like I just got super excited about the reveal of Splatoon 3, and Splatoon is it's probably my favorite Nintendo series. Like I know it's still new, but I think it has so much potential. So I just got really excited, and then people wanted to learn more about the story of Splatoon and the lore behind it, and I had been like studying that for like years, basically.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm the one to do it, and people mainly will just like follow me for my content of Splatoon. Like, yeah, I talk about Nintendo news, but I also know that my viewers are Splatoon fans.
Heck yeah. And there's a lot of Splatoon fans on this app, and I think that they definitely have been craving like some representation in the past couple years here, and I think you definitely kind of fill that need on here.
Oh,
especially when it comes to like the lore, because I'll watch your lore clips and I'm like, dude, this goes so much deeper than I thought.
Yeah, it looks like a very colorful, fun game, but Nintendo gets pretty dark when they want to.
Yep.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that you're absolutely right about if you're going to start on TikTok, it is important to get familiar with how sounds work on here, because I have so many sounds saved constantly that I don't even use, but that I just might use.
Right. Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's an easy way to start, especially if you're stuck not knowing like what it is you want to do yet. Just stick to the formula and then put your own twist on it, and that'll kind of help you to gauge like what you want to do next.
Yeah. I mean, I think what I like about your content as well is like you'll do sounds that may like they probably aren't like the most popular, but you saw someone else use the sound and like you had this idea to do it your way. And I just love that you're not afraid to try something that it might do really well or it may flop, but you can always tell like on the other end of the camera that you're having a lot of fun making them.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm finally at a place where I'm not. Well, I don't think I ever was afraid necessarily, but I mean, I used to be really disappointed if a good idea in my head just completely flopped. But now, if it flops, I'm like, okay, that's just the algorithm. If I'm proud of it, then that's good enough, and I'll just move on to the next video. Because making TikToks is a really quick process, honestly. Like, it doesn't take a whole lot of effort. It just takes a good idea, and then you execute it, and there's minimal editing required.
Yeah.
The output of TikToks on the app is so fast. Like, you see one and then it's done, basically. So
Yeah.
it's really just the mentality of like, how can I make the next one better, or how can I evolve my content in the right direction? And I've made so many dumb TikToks. It's ridiculous.
No, I mean, so like what I was gonna say is not only are you like good at making them, but you and like John Ebo, I know you won't use sounds, and that's something that I actually am afraid of, is not using a sound, because we all know that the sound is what pushes out the video to more people. But like and I can't remember how long ago you did this, but your Daft Punk video, Technologic.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was about a week ago, I think.
That is so funny. And like, how well did that do?
For me, it did about average. I think it hit about 30K views. Which, to say that's average,
your average?
Well, to say that that's average is a bit of a surprise to me as well. But like, yeah, because like, I remember the first time I had a video hit like 1,000 views, and I popped off about that. I was like, this is awesome. And now like the view counts don't really matter as much. I think what matters more is the engagement of it. When I think a lot of people enjoyed that one. But yeah, that one took me like 20 tries to get all in one take. Like, I was just having fun with it. It was just an idea I had. I was like, I got to make this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So when you started, you talked about using Twitch clips. How well did that work for you on this app? Like, did it work well for you?
Yeah. So when I joined TikTok in early 2021, I was doing Twitch streams occasionally, and I played Super Mario Maker 2. That was all I really did. I was in that community, and I just played a lot of Mario Maker levels from the community, and I was really involved. And so I had a bunch of Mario clips stored up, which made it easy to start just posting them. And like, there was nothing flashy about it, just the horizontal clip with the black background, with maybe like some caption. I was just learning how to use the caption feature and like everything else. And like before, and I had never used like Instagram Reels either. Like, my most experience before this was like probably Snapchat, so I was like kind of familiar with, but then just learning how TikTok works. And the clips helped me to get like the first 100 followers, I would say. And like finding, some of those were probably like mutuals, and also just like finding Mario people. And what I realized soon enough was that the Mario community was probably already kind of saturated on here. And so yeah, I got about maybe to 100 to 200 followers from just doing Twitch clips at first.
Yeah.
And then that was at the point where I started to do using my phone camera to actually record videos. Oh, and nice. That helped me get kind of the next boost.
Yeah. Dang, that's so cool. So Did you have like, were you a Viner?
Um, no, I had the app, but I was too young and stupid to really like get involved. Like I think I made one Vine in my life.
Yeah. I think
Uh,
that when TikTok came around, or at least like when you started to see what TikTok could be, that's when everyone was like, oh, wait a minute, this is just Vine 2.0. And if you
right.
were like already there, then you kind of knew how the app worked, except for a little different with adding sounds and all
Mhm.
of that. So it's cool that like you caught on, because I feel that there are people that now are just trying to get on TikTok, and they're just like, well, this clip worked on Twitter or this clip worked on Instagram. Like, I'll just throw it over here on TikTok, but it just doesn't work that way most of the
Mhm.
time. Some people, get lucky, but
Yeah, and I think everyone says that TikTok is a tool you can use to like funnel your viewers to your other platforms. And that's certainly true. But I think if you join TikTok with that mindset of just pulling people to your other stuff, it's just not going to work.
yeah,
Because you have to understand that TikTok is a very unique platform and it
yeah,
has its own culture. It moves at lightning fast speed, and you just kind of have to take time to consume it a little bit and kind of, and by consume I don't mean just like mindlessly scroll the app. Like whenever I scroll TikTok, I try to make it like an active thing
yeah,
where I'm not, like I'm sure you do the same.
yep, I
Like
do that.
sometimes, like I can scroll TikTok and I'm constantly like listening to the sounds being used or what's trending. But I also try not to like worry about it as much now. Like like I'll use a sound that has like two videos under it now and like don't care if it fits the video. I'll use it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Um, I forget what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something like, oh, John Ebo was saying, I'm glad I'm not alone on that, and I think that the three of us, and I'm sure there's other people in the live that are doing the same thing, but like, I know that if I'm on Twitter, I am there to like comment or just interact. And the same thing with TikTok. Like, I do want to sometimes just kind of not even think about all that and just consume the content. But also, like, as a content creator, we know that we have to get our voices heard one way or another. And in itself, it's kind of a game. It's kind of the real life video game. You see what works, what doesn't, and then you try again. But that's what I find fun about content creation, and then the people that you get to meet along the way, which I guess is a good segue, because for me, I feel that I get overwhelmed with TikTok lives, and maybe I've been busy. I just got married. I just had my birthday, so it's like,
Congrats, by
thank
the
you, man,
way.
thank you. Um, so like, I haven't had a lot of time to go live, but there's probably time where I could have like fit it in. And I've gone live, I would say a total of 5 times on TikTok. And for me, I think it gets a little overwhelming because TikTok's discoverability is insane, which is great because you get a lot of people that will come in. But like, if you're not used to that and you're used to Twitch where you get like 15 to 20 viewers at a time, and you get to like talk to the community and who's in there, you can kind of relate to them on like, oh, how did that job interview go, that kind of thing. In TikTok, it's just kind of pick and choose who you want to talk to. And I don't know. And then I've talked to you about Splatoon. You can only have 7 people at a time. So as much as like I want to
Right.
do a community stream, I can only have 7 people at a time. And then the Switch maxes out at 300 friends. So then you have this awkward moment where it's like, okay, let me delete people right now from my console. And who knows, they might actually be in the live and I just deleted them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So,
and I did that too. Like and it worked for me for a while because it'll actually have been a year since I first went live on TikTok in August.
okay.
And at that time, I did not get TikTok's discoverability, which I'm kind of it's kind of lucky in a way, because I wasn't, when I first went live, I didn't have the followers. I'd probably just gotten that 1,000 followers to go live. And I was just setting up the phone in my living room on the TV because I wanted to sit on the couch while I did this and just
Yeah.
like pointed at Splatoon
Yeah.
and see who showed up to play. And just enough people showed up to play to where if we had 20 viewers on TikTok, it was like, this is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
we've got a little community here. Obviously, we outgrew that, and then the TikTok live algorithm completely shifted to, here's 1,000 viewers right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, what, how do you handle that? And it's definitely come with, like, I guess, acclimating to that experience. It definitely requires you to kind of shift your mindset a little bit towards, okay, as long as people are engaged with me on TikTok, like, it's going to be at a broader range. And yeah, you may not get as close of a communication or connection with everyone on TikTok. I mean, I do try my best. Recently now, since I've been playing games that require so much focus,
Yeah.
I have come to complete peace with missing messages, which took me forever. But it's like, now it's like, if I miss a message, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think every small streamer struggles with that. We want to acknowledge everybody.
We want to acknowledge everyone, but we also want to be good at the game. And I can tell you,
True.
I'm a much better gamer than when I am streaming, which maybe that's good content. But like, for me, I feel so dumb. And it's like, have I ever played a video game before? What is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we deserve more credit for that. It's like it's like when I'm playing a game and chat is like just beaming from up to down, like, it's hard not to just like look over it sometimes and see what's going on.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I think what's helped me, I mean, when the For You page blows up your live to like 1,000, 2,000 viewers, I mean, yesterday I had, I think, a max at like 6,000. But what I do is I just be myself, and a lot of those people are going to stay for 1 minute and then they're going to keep scrolling.
Right. Yeah.
They might hit the follow. And I have mods on TikTok as well who help out with stuff like that. I'm constantly adding new mods because there's only room for 20 mods on TikTok. I think they should add more because sometimes it's not enough, or there's not everyone active at once.
And how do you know who is going to mod for you? Like, is that something you even think about? Or if someone is just like, hey, can I mod for you? You're just like, yep.
Yeah. I mean, I pick the people who I trust the most and the people who are around the most and who are willing to do it. I'm never like forcing anyone to do it.
Sure.
I just kind of trust that people will be there. And if not, I mean, I self-moderate all the time, but I'm definitely getting to a point where we have a lot of great mods and just continuing to kind of foster that. But yeah, I mean, I think to the point like of my community, I think the closest my community gets is either like on Twitch or in the Discord now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do think even if you're growing, like, there is still a need for community, and even if we're not playing or streaming Splatoon, because you're getting 8 people involved and alienating the other 1,000.
Yeah, like, and you don't even get to choose who gets to play either.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like we have tried doing like a Fall Guys customs where we had 60 players, which is more than 8.
Big difference, yeah.
And that helped us out. What's up, Molly? Welcome. And we also did, stuff like that. I've done Mario Kart lobbies where people may just enjoy watching even if they're not playing. But more often than not, I feel like the community events have to happen offline now, or you just have like a game night in their Discord without streaming, so that you're just focused on your most or your closest community members.
Yeah, it's interesting that you have found that balance of just streaming a single-player game, but still getting the community involved and feeling like they are part of the game too,
Yeah. It's interesting because, like, I didn't really know what Twitch was until, say, 2017, 2018.
Okay.
And that was when I was about to graduate college, and I got hooked on Twitch at some point, and like one of the first recommended channels I got was Clint Stevens. I don't know if you know him. Um, he's like a massive like 0.01% streamer on there, but he plays like Super Mario 64 speedruns. And people just go absolutely bonkers for speedruns on Twitch,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've never speedran a game until just now, where I've been kind of doing like Rhythm Heaven speedrunning.
Okay.
But what I've noticed from the speedrun community is that is a surefire way to get people like actively like invested and interested in a single player game, because they want to see what's going to happen, if you're going to choke the run or if you're going to succeed, and it gets everyone involved. So that's kind of what I've enjoyed most doing this year, is like different challenges. Like the first one that really made it clear to me that this could work was when I played We Play Tanks. That was like the first experiment. And this was before I even, had the stream key or anything. Like I just had the phone pointed at the screen.
Yep.
I was like, we're just gonna play some Wii Tanks and chill. We'll probably have 10 viewers tonight. That's fine. I don't really care.
You weren't even on the screen, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just no face cam.
Yep.
Just pointed at tanks. And I was like, we're just gonna hang out, probably have 15 viewers tonight. And there were like 400 people the first time I played tanks, and everyone was like, wow. Whoa, dude, core memory unlocked. Like this is my childhood.
Yeah,
and I was like, whoa, dude, I didn't expect people to connect with this. And so from there, it just kind of set off the course of like playing more single player games.
What made you choose it though?
I just wanted to play it. Honestly, like I just moved back in with my parents for the meantime, and I didn't have my Wii U at the time, but I had it back. So I had the Wii U console, and I was like, oh yeah, I can hook this up with HDMI to the game capture and just play all my old Wii games. And so I was like, let's play some We Play Tanks, because that used to be one of my favorites. People just ate it up, man.
Yeah, Janie's also here in the chat. That's another content creator.
Hey, what's up, Janie? Yeah,
doing awesome. Really well. Yeah, you were talking about like how TikTok just kind of feeds you what they want you to see, and when it comes to lives, it's so fascinating to think about, because most of the time, I mean, I don't know about you, but for me, like my followers are not the ones that are in the live. It's completely new people. And same with like your content that you make on TikTok. You kind of have to think about how it's not going to be for your followers. It's for a completely new audience.
Yeah.
So it's like you want to play the same game for your viewers. If you're on Twitch and people know you for like Zelda streams, is that going to work, or are you going to do something different because you know that you aren't going to get that audience? Like for me, ton of Splatoon followers, but if I do Splatoon, like my followers probably aren't coming to the live because it's pushing out to people that have never seen me before.
Right.
Is that going to work?
Yeah. And I think that's so true. I think I'm looking up the statistics of yesterday's live that I did, because I'm pretty sure it was like, it tells you the percentage of followers that watched. And if I can find it, I want to say it was like 5% of followers were watching the stream last night,
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it kind of ingrains a lesson that is already true for all content creators, which is the fact that you are always a first impression to somebody. It's just amplified on TikTok. Whereas like on YouTube or Twitch, like you may be a first impression to just the few that find you that way. But on TikTok, it's a constant first impression. So every time I gain followers from a different game and then I move on to the next game, I'll get a couple comments. When's the next Fall Guys customs? Well, I'm already kind of tired of that, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
When's the next Splatoon lobby? And I feel that, because the Splatoon fans in my community are still some of my closest members of the community. Even though I've kind of like not focused on that game in a long time, like they're the real ones on here for real.
Yeah.
And what's most gratifying though about building a community is those members who will find you for one specific game and then tell you, even though you're not playing this game anymore, I still enjoy watching you for who you are.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that is what I have found that I love about Twitch, is that I know that I have people that will come back just to hang out with me. It doesn't really matter what the game is, but when it comes to content creation, like you were saying, when's the next Fall Guys, when's the next Splatoon game, or We Play, or whatever. I think content creators get scared to experiment, even though we all should, because that's what's going to help us grow, right? Is you don't want to get stuck doing the same thing. So maybe branching off and doing something different is going to boost your name even more. However, people are just afraid because it's like, this is not what my viewers want to see. They want me to go back to the old thing. But with TikTok, it's new people all the time. So like, should you even have that fear still?
Yeah, I think my mindset has completely changed over content just because of TikTok, because it really is a dichotomy between the Twitch mindset of you play your tried and true content, you stick to what you're good at or what you've done in the past. Because I really thought like on Twitch that I would build a community by, just doing the rigorous, same thing. But if you're going to do that, and you totally can, like if you have that one game that you are surefire passionate about and that won't burn you out, absolutely like go full force with it. But that's like so few people I feel like now, and on Twitch, I mean, I feel like there is kind of like a negative connotation towards variety streamers who just kind of play what they want. But like the point of being a variety streamer, it has nothing to do with the games you're playing. It has everything to do with the community you're building, right?
Yeah.
And so on TikTok, you get rewarded for experimenting, and I think that's great. Mm-hmm. People should experiment more with their content and just throw stuff at the wall, see what sticks.
Yeah.
And because of how well the TikTok's done, it kind of just dictates my Twitch streams now. Like I don't even have to worry about what people on Twitch think because most of them just came from TikTok. So it's like a complete culture shift that I'm still kind of wrestling with, honestly, because it's just a very different vibe when like half of the people who come to Twitch say they may have even just downloaded the app just to watch the stream.
For sure.
And so you have tons of like new Twitch chatters who don't even know how it works yet.
Yeah. And it's probably less exciting than TikTok because you can always just keep scrolling. But with Twitch, it's like, all right, I gotta see who else I'm going to find to watch.
Yeah, right.
Just Janie says, I love this chat. I've been wanting to try more TikTok lives, but I don't know what to expect. I mean, we've kind of been talking about it, but like, you just do it. Like, as cliche as that is, there's going to be a ton of people, that come your way because it's completely different than Twitch. But John Ebo says, plus you only have 30 seconds max to make a good impression.
True. Yeah. I would say the game that you pick on TikTok matters. Because that first 30 seconds, if it's not a game that the viewer's interested in, they're probably going to keep scrolling. It's good because let's be honest, it takes more than 30 seconds to decide if you're going to enjoy somebody's content. Like in the long run, like you don't know a person in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But if it's a game that people enjoy, you just need a hook. Like the same way you post a TikTok video, it has to have some kind of hook to keep people watching. I think the same is true when you go live. Even though there's not a traditional like text on the screen hook, it's still like the game you're playing could be the hook to a community that needs a representation. Whereas, there are so many categories of games on Twitch that are completely dead, but that I'm sure could be revitalized on TikTok.
Probably. Well, I mean, yeah, we've learned that with the music industry, right?
Yeah.
It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, like Kate Bush and everything else, stuff like that.
Metallica
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I would recommend everyone should experiment and try playing a niche game, whether it's old or new, that you think has a community on here, and just see what happens. And if it flops, you know, it flops. Because I've had TikTok's lives flop, and it was like, okay.
I feel like the next one is probably Nintendo Land. Have you experimented with that?
I've had a couple requests. I've kind of hesitated towards it because so much of the fun for that game for me is the multiplayer.
Okay.
And so I may have to throw in a live for it soon just to play some of the single player stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm sure people would dig it.
I think Mario Chase, you know, I remember playing just hours of that game. And then like me and my friends, we would just like have a tournament depending on if you got caught or not. And if you didn't get caught, then you would just go on to the next, like the harder level and see if you can make it all the way through.
I forgot about the levels. Yeah, there was the one with the mud where you couldn't move.
Yep. Yeah.
I remember that.
Lily says, I feel like TikTok gives people a chance to do something new. Totally. Just Jamie says, I get so nervous trying something new. I'm so much more comfortable on Twitch. I totally get that. I get that. Like, streaming for me in general, as much as I like doing it, I don't feel like I'm the best at it. And that, like, if I'm going to do something, I want to be the best or feel like I'm doing my best. And I don't feel that way with streaming because I just don't take the time to actually learn what is going on technologically. Like, I couldn't tell you how a computer runs or what it needs or like even how to talk about it, honestly. But then streaming is interesting because if you want to stream like a new game, like Stray, for example, you may have people that come in and watch because they're curious to see what the game looks like, or maybe they can't afford it. But most of the time, people don't watch because they don't want spoilers, or they're going and watching somebody who is like a bigger name streaming this game for the first time.
Yeah.
So then you just got to figure out like, okay, what games am I doing? Like for me, I guess I have found that I just like playing games that I never got around to, and hopefully people come in and watch, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a fine line that you kind of have to like measure where you stand between what you enjoy doing and what brings a community together. And it ultimately depends on like, what do you want? Because I guarantee you no two people want the exact same thing out of streaming as you might think. I know streamers, like I have how do I say this? I know lots of streamer friends who are successful in their own way, you know, even ones who average 5 viewers because that's all they want, you know, or they're happy just grinding hard levels and, you know, saving the VOD for later, you know?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people like misconceive what it is to like make it as a streamer, because I don't think you can ever really make it.
Yeah, especially on Twitch, you get what? It's the 50 followers, and I forget what the other like requirements are, but 50 followers for affiliate, and then you need an average of 75 viewers. Like that is the next step. That is how why is there not like a middle step?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting too, because on TikTok, there is no really middle requirement. There is no partnership. Although I think what's really lucky about you and I just being on the platform is that with all the experience we have, it's still so young for TikTok to be pushing live content.
Yeah.
You know, because you were on early when it was still like transitioning from, what was it, like Musical.ly or whatever it was called?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. And so just like into the early like trends and videos, and now that TikTok is starting to push live, we're kind of at the forefront of it.
It's true. Yeah. And I mean, like, I know that you and I both know some things that they're working on in the background that we can't talk about, but it's pretty exciting to see
exactly
where it could go.
Yeah. I think it's exciting. I also think that it's nice to not worry too much about the viewership on TikTok. Like, at this point, I just know that someone's going to be there, you know?
That's true. Yeah.
Whether it's 50 or 1,000 or anywhere in between.
Yeah.
I think as long as you're having fun, the viewers are going to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And that's for me. Like my goal is to be more of an entertainer, I think, than somebody who is just there to play games with you, which
Yeah.
I think is also like it just depends like what you want to do, right? I don't
Right.
know
Yeah.
because I've watched streamers that I look up to that have similar vein of content. Like I mentioned that I'm in the Mario Maker space for a long time, and
Yeah.
so some of the streamers I look up to in that realm are like DGR Dave, huge inspiration. And then also Raisefire, who is another Mario Maker streamer. They both play very similar content, but I look at Dave's stream, and he's somebody who is a lot more friendly and direct with his community, a lot more vulnerable, I would say, and just like really like in tune with himself. Whereas Racefire is like he is a broadcaster, like he knows how to speak and entertain and enunciate and explain what's going on, and he always has an event plan for every stream. Like we're gonna do this today, we're gonna take this challenge, or we're gonna play this mod,
Yeah.
and it's like an event, and it's
Yeah.
like it's just two different sides of the same coin, right?
Right.
And like I kind of aspire to be someone who can engage the community but also like put on an event,
Yeah.
you
I
know?
mean, for me, like I guess where streaming becomes natural for me is I would talk to myself when I was younger playing games and thought that there were people watching me, like as if it was a competition or, like Mario Kart or Mario Party. There were times where it was like pretending that they were like rooting for me, that kind of thing. So, uh, kind
I
of
love
just
that.
talking and going through like everything that you're doing. Dash, my cat was meowing and he's a pretty quiet cat, so I wasn't.
Oh.
Anyway, I lost my thought. Just I don't know.
Talking
Jamie
to
said,
yourself.
yeah, just talking to yourself. Like
Yeah.
no matter what is going on, if you have like nobody in the chat or viewers watching, like it's always good to just kind of it might feel weird, but just talk to yourself and just kind of say like, okay, in order for me to get over here, it looks like I have to get this item, and then we're gonna have to do this, and it. I don't know, like
Yeah.
it will feel weird, but it's nice to explain. Which is, I'm just now thinking about like I went to school for theater, and they tell you show don't tell, but in this case, I guess it's like it's kind of nice to tell what we're going to do and like what our next step is, so the viewers know because they're not controlling the character, right? So
Yeah.
you kind of have to.
I agree. I agree. And it's important if you want to start streaming to get familiar with speaking.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's really a core uh, ability to have. I mean, there are streamers who don't use a mic, and that's
Yeah.
cool if that's all you want to do is like show your speed run or just show your game. But like if you're really trying to take this seriously, you need to start practicing your talking and speaking.
Yeah, yeah. Janie says that's one thing that's kind of freeing about TikTok is that it went up. Is that there's no viewer average goal to hit. There's more possibility to just have fun with it.
Yeah. It is freeing, and especially when TikTok. The way TikTok works is they want to hit you with that dopamine rush. Like they want you to be excited about how many people are showing up, and I mean I really think it is artificial at some point. Like you can't give yourself credit sometimes for the amount of people that just rush into a stream or like it's just like it's just the way the algorithm works. But what you can do is you can retain those followers by being yourself and having people say, okay, I found you and I want to stick around. It's like the people who come back for day 2, those are the people you should be most excited about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Mikey, thank you for the sub. How are you doing?
Hey.
I never thought we would see that.
Yeah, TikTok subs. That's like a very new feature.
Yeah. How do you feel about the monetization on TikTok?
It's got ways to go, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's extremely underwhelming. But for a beta program, I'm just honored to be a part of it.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
I think it's really cool. TikTok is definitely like making moves. So I hope to just see it continue further.
Yeah.
It's been fun for me. The first month that I did it, I had an incentive of turning every subscriber into a me on my me channel.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And it worked really well. Um, that actually became a problem if I don't have enough time to like make all these me's. It's taking forever. So
Yeah, that's a good problem, right?
yeah, it's a great problem.
Yeah.
And that's like one of those things too, where you can kind of like have a closer connection to like those real community members who want to support you. I have sub only chat on right now as well, just to kind of mitigate the noise. So I've got a couple here. What's up, Crazy Cat? What's up, Suki? But yeah, like I would do the me's, and then it became a problem of just I didn't have enough time to do it. So now I'm struggling over again with like, how do I keep, like, how do I even give a thank you to subs? Because it doesn't even show up on the screen. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. It's so different than like on Twitch where like you want to thank like every follower, and now I can't do that anymore. I just kind of mute the alert. It doesn't have a sound anymore because it's like there's just too many.
Yeah.
And it's like I want to be personal, but at some point you just have to draw the line and say, okay, people are going to enjoy you, like for just who you're being on screen. You know, not everybody has to be acknowledged. Then they understand that. You know,
See, and that's something
it's
that I
hard.
struggle with. Yeah. Yeah. I want to make sure that everybody is feeling like, they're being seen.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, we have questions that are coming in on this side, but I also know that you have people as
No,
well.
go ahead. Yeah.
Lily says, I kind of see streaming as a safe space for some people and a way to connect with the viewer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a lot of viewers, there are so many viewers who prefer a small streamer of 10 viewers or 15 viewers because that's a tight-knit community.
Sure.
And that's kind of what we're all comfortable with as well. And I think that's great, and especially the viewers who kind of cheer you on or continue to support you if you continue to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like the MVPs of a community, the ones who stick around. But that being said, it's completely natural to lose some of your longtime viewers as you continue to grow and evolve.
Yeah.
It's completely safe to say you're going to outgrow some of your viewership. And that's just because of the preference of content that those viewers prefer, where they kind of want to feel connected, and like we all want to connect with our viewers, but at some point you have to change your perspective and strategy on how you connect with viewers in different ways than just like reading every chat message.
Yeah.
But for where we are, even if I have like a TikTok chat of 1,000 people like moving really fast, I'll just try to like pick out a message and read it if I can. And then that person's excited, and I love that people can feel excited about being read.
Yeah.
Like that was never a thing before.
Yeah.
Like, he noticed me.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? I mean, like, it makes sense. Like, we all just want to be seen. We want to be noticed, like that's, but it just means so much to people.
Yeah, I mean, and I love it too. I go on a big streamers chat and I'll type something in, and if they acknowledge me, I'm like, heck yeah, this guy's so cool.
Yeah,
like they took the time to acknowledge me or reply. It's super fun.
Go on Twitter and like somebody that you just decided to put out a comment, and then they decide to like it or comment back. You're like,
yeah,
wasn't expecting that, but all right, cool.
Yes. Have you ever had that happen to you, like from a big name on your? I mean, you've already talked about the game awards.
Yeah. I mean, just yesterday, actually, Twitter Gaming, was talking about Stray. Like, all they said was they put out a tweet that said, "Do you think your cat could be a good adventurer? Bonus points if you add a pic of them." And I was like, all right, well, I got 2 cats. One of them just sleeps all the time, but the other one, like, he's a pretty photogenic cat. So like, I just put a picture in there. I said, he's not a fighter, but his smolder could probably get him out of anything. And then they were like, yeah, that's a strong smolder. DM me. And I was like, DM you? What? And so I DM'd them, and they were like, hey, we just want to give away a copy of Stray. So it was like, all I did was show a picture of my cat, and then so that happened.
Wow.
Yeah, Zachary Ryan, who's on IGN, he like, I don't know, I would just like, or he was on IGN, he's no longer there.
Okay.
But he was on the Nintendo voice chat. I don't know if you would recognize him. But
back in the day, yeah.
Yeah. I just would like kind of comment on some of his tweets, and it was weird like when he would like comment back. And so then it's like, okay, there's this sense of like he knows who I am, because probably my name is, I would say, pretty like easy to remember. And it kind of just sticks with you. And then it just got to a point where he sent me a follow, and I'm like, oh, okay, awesome.
That's
so,
awesome.
It just gets to this deeper level. And like we've been talking about content creation, you just have to put your name out there. You just got to try, because you just don't know. Like, the answer is going to be no unless you just do it.
Yeah, I think that's so. And I think the reason I asked that question is like, there's so many walls that come broken down when you become a creator. Like, you think that the people with high follower counts have like this giant castle that they live in where they don't talk to anyone else.
Yeah.
But that's just not true at all. Like, we're like, a lot of like bigger names are like completely transparent with others and like just real people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's true. I mean, like, I grew up being told stranger danger, don't talk to people you don't know. And
exactly.
Like, where would we be if we didn't even try? Like, back in the day probably wouldn't even have this conversation with you, because I'm like, I don't know them, but you and I are just meeting for the first time face to face, and you just got to put yourself out there. Also, like, when you do it, you meet cool people, you hear their stories, you just connect on a deeper level.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. I completely agree. And I remember the first time I was even a Twitch streamer and somebody raided me. I was freaked out. I was like, who are you? Like, how did you even find me on here? And they were like, they found me from the family friendly tag. And I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing you could do.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And so now it's like, now when I raid somebody, it's like, I want to be excited to like meet somebody new, and like also just continue to definitely push the name out. Yeah,
that's cool, because I had no idea those tags even worked.
Yeah, I know, right?
I knew that it was
the first raid I ever got, and now he's like one of my closest Twitch friends as well now. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Brody says, what pushes you guys to keep producing content? You go.
Sure. I would say if I'm not creating something, it's just, I'm just going to get depressed, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I just got to be doing something, whether it's creating a video or planning like a live stream, or even just something not content related, like, just like working on a project or building, I don't know. Or, my background is kind of in like digital media and like graphic design and stuff like that. So like I like to just like take on like creative stuff. So like when I first got into streaming, like I was like hyper focused on like, what are my stream layouts going to look like? What is like, how am I going to like make this look like super slick and edgy?
Yeah.
And now I don't even care about that at all at this point, because it doesn't matter in streaming. I mean, it can if you want it to, but yeah, I think like the thing that keeps me driving to create is just the fulfillment that it brings me as like a creative person. And like, I don't really know if that's the answer for everybody, but there are times when I was streaming that I would take breaks and I'd not stream for like 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
From complete no motivation or burnt out on energy, because a lot of us are working and like we don't have the extra energy after a full days of work to like really hamper down and like work on content as well as like people expect you to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it just takes like it takes a priority. You know, you have to kind of prioritize it over like that hour you spend watching a TV show. You know.
It's true. It's like we all will say that we don't have time for content creation. We don't have time to go to the gym. We don't have time to learn something new. And like we do. It may only be like 5 or 10 minutes of your time, but like, that's still a lot that you can do within your day. And yeah, I mean,
Yeah. I think a lot of the mental barriers, like when I psych myself out over how long something's gonna take, or like if I think of an idea but then like forget to write it down maybe, or just like push it to the side, then it's just never gonna happen. So I try to be like really active with my ideas, and just like I think a part of like the fun of TikTok especially is it allows you to create something with minimal effort, but then it kind of gets your creative juices flowing, because you kind of like as you create stuff, you're gonna get more ideas.
Yeah, yeah, and
It's
I mean,
just
like we all have shower thoughts, like
yeah,
or if like you're mowing the lawn or something, and your mind isn't on content. Sometimes those are the best moments too, because you're like, oh, now I feel refreshed because I can go in and create what I have in my head and just like put it out there.
yes.
Yeah.
I I feel like I've had TikTok ideas like from the shower before.
Yeah, yeah. The big shy guy. Do you still have time? I know we're like.
Yeah, we're chill.
Okay.
However long you want to go for, if the hour or whatever.
Yeah, no,
We're
we're
rocking.
good. We're good. The big shy guy says, "How do you combine private life with the amount of content you need to make for TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, etc.?"
What's up, shy guy? That's a friend who I met in Mario Maker World as well.
All right, on. They follow me.
Yeah.
So that's
Heck
cool.
yeah. Heck yeah. Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah. Also, is the music loud? Is it?
No, it's fine.
Okay. How do you combine private life with the amount of content you need to make for TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, etc.?
That is a challenging question.
Yeah.
I mean, I know for you, you've probably been more focused on your personal life at this point because you just got married, and a lot of life events happening right now.
True. Yeah.
Um,
Just to like, go off of that. I love being around my wife, and even before we got married, like not that she would hold me back, but like I would want to spend time with her versus streaming or going live or whatever, because at the end of the day, she comes home and that's like the time we get to spend together. She'll come home for like a little bit, we have dinner, and then it's like, okay, I got to go up and stream for like 3 to 4 hours, and that's time that I'm missing away from her. But we both have like, she likes her alone time, and she also is like really trying to be encouraging and push me to do the things that I want to do, which is great. I love that. So I think you just got to find the balance, whether you are in a relationship or not. You just got to find the time to put aside and do the things that you want to do first. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, you can get to them if you choose to, put wherever your priorities are. You can make content and still have your private life as well.
Facts. I mean, so for me, when I was working from home in the pandemic, I was single, not a lot of responsibilities towards others, so I had a lot of my time to just kind of grind out video ideas and streaming, and it actually ended up against me for a couple of reasons, because I would stream like 6 hours at a time, which is a lot.
That is a lot.
And those kind of habits are what brought me to burn out so many times and like go on extended breaks of like 3 months without streaming.
Yeah.
But I think learning from like self-discipline to, handle your content in a good time, and then also make the time for like your family. Because right now I live with my family, so it's taken a while, but like my mom completely like understands like the times that I stream now, and so it's not like
cool.
It's like a problem, but like understanding like what your goals are, and then just respecting your own goals.
Yeah,
because I know how guilty you can feel to to feel like you're isolating yourself from others to do what you got to do, or
Yeah.
like to put the work in, or just go live. But ultimately, like, yeah, you just got to balance both, but also like don't let it get in your head too much on what other people think
Yeah, that's a
as
big one.
well. Yeah, I mean, that's like a whole nother can of worms, but
Yeah, it's true. Valdo, what's going on, Valdo? Says I've definitely had some of my best ideas come to me in the shower. Some even in dreams. That's awesome. Brain never stops working.
Love that.
Yeah, that is actually really hard. Is to always think like a content creator. Like you are always thinking, okay, what's the next thing that I can do, or what's the next thing I can post, or just to stay relevant. Is
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think and my best ideas come usually alone as well, because I'm more like an introverted thinker, and so like especially like driving on the road, like especially, and like I think the best ideas come, like you may get inspiration from like looking at others' content, but I think the best inspiration comes when you're not looking at a screen, or just allowing your mind to kind of wander.
Yeah.
Or like going on a walk, or doing an outside activity. Because let's be real, like streaming is like a lot of sitting down, and even like video editing, like everything that requires like a contents channel to run is just a lot of like moping and sitting down.
Yeah.
So it's helped me to mitigate that by just being like active, or like hanging out with my nephews, who's like 5 years old. We play Mario together, or we'll just like play toys together. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of take that energy with you into the stream,
Yeah. Mikey says, how do you prioritize what to do? For me, like I still have a job, so I got to make sure that I, get everything done that needs to get done within the day, and then I can create, or maybe I got some chores that I need to do, keep up on the house, and go from there. But
yeah, I think when you have responsibilities like from your job, or like from like what you got to do in the house, like if you take care of those, like that's what gets me like in sort of like the mood to actually like get the streaming stuff done as well. Because like if you've already accomplished one thing, like you can kind of like continue on to the next thing. Because like I've definitely had like depressive episodes where like I just don't feel like doing anything, or I just want to lay in bed. But then like if you just take the first step to like check one thing off your list, then it kind of like gets the wheel spinning to like get more things done for the day. And if you're like deciding what to do is tough, because it can be really paralyzing to think I need to do like 100 different things to make this work. But you really just got to take it like day by day. Focus on what matters the most. And deciding what matters the most can be really tricky, because if you're like me, I can get hyper fixated on like one specific element of the entire channel or stream that does not matter to anybody else but myself. Like yesterday, even I was messing with my TikTok layout for my stream, and I was trying to put like a little arrow and text that said click or tap here to subscribe, and I was trying to match it with where the star would appear on the phone, and I was just like, this is like took up like 30 minutes of my time, but nobody really cares. Like you can just ask people to check it out.
right.
So like, yeah, learning not to get like super fixated on like one specific problem, but like just focus on what really matters, which is being present with your community, going live when well, I guess I would say, having some sort of schedule, or like having a way for viewers to like to know when you're live is important. That's completely changed how I stream this year. And also like what's helped me is scheduling end times for my streams as well, to say like, okay, and sometimes I'll just go over it, but most of the time now, like I've kind of incorporated some self-discipline to say, okay, being live is not the only thing that is important to a stream, or to content in general. Like it takes a lot of prep, and taking clips and networking and just outside stuff. And if all you're doing is going live 12 hours a day, like you're gonna burn yourself out so fast.
Yeah.
I mean,
I always,
some people can naturally do that, and that's
yeah.
crazy for them. But like, it just doesn't work like that, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I always think about like how comedians usually have like an hour-long special, and that's really all you need because
Yeah,
after that,
right.
you're burnt out. Like
Yeah,
I don't know how you entertain, and that's essentially what we're doing is like a one-person show, right? Or if sometimes people will do like a collab stream or whatever, but it's a one-person show, and you just got to figure out, okay, how do I keep this ball rolling, and it
yeah.
gets to a point where you do kind of burn out, which is like talking to you. I'm sure you do burn out, but you would never know it just by how much you're putting out and how much fun you're having. When was the last time you got burned out?
Ooh, the last time I got burned out, probably last night. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to say. I think the last time I was truly burned out was last year.
Oh,
I'd
okay.
say this year has been much better in regards to like keep knowing my limits.
Yeah.
But also like continuing to be productive. Knowing your limits is crucial. Like if you push yourself too hard, because you really are like your own boss. Like you construct how you do your content, how productive you want to be, and if you're going to be your own boss, you kind of also have to set like limits, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like because I'm someone who will like, if I get excited about working on something, I won't sleep, or I'll just keep working on it until it's like, oh my gosh, like my entire next day is ruined now.
Yeah,
Like
I
good
hear you.
sleep. Actually, Michaela asked, what does self-care look like for you? Sleep.
Yeah. Well, I'm not very good with that, but
How would you answer that question?
self-care for me is going to the gym. Like I feel
Okay.
like that helps a bunch.
Yeah.
To not stress. I mean, I know that's easier said than done, but I like to imagine that you have like a tennis ball that is filled with rubber bands, just a rubber band ball basically. And in order for you to de-stress, you need to take the first rubber band off that you can, right? The one that's going to come off first. Because if you start pulling from the middle, it's going to become just chaos. And you need to do it one rubber band at a time. So for me, that is a way of self-care. Also,
I love
just
that. Yeah.
affirmations. That's a big one. Realizing what you have, not what you don't. And the gratitude that you have for others and what's going on in your life. Like it's self-care is tough. It's not easy, but it's something that you just have to practice every day. And
Absolutely.
eventually it gets easier, but it still can be really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta hit up the gym, man. It's been like since college for me,
Yeah.
which was 3 years ago. But
I'm just saying, there's probably some good content, right? Because like you are the challenge person. You have goals to beat your records.
Gamify it, all that.
You could do it.
True. But I really like what you said about affirmations, and I see you post like your affirmations on the fridge, like on Twitter. Like I love that stuff.
Yeah.
But it definitely is like important to like have a moment to even just be like meditative or like think of the bigger picture or like take the perspective out of yourself and think like what kind of impact you're having on the world and what you can have.
Yeah.
Because like when streamers or content creators think about what if their main focus is what they're going to get out of this or how they're going to make like infinite amount of money, like you're just never going to find that.
Right. And it's not going to make you happy.
Yeah, but honestly, I think for us, like we've already found that in a way. Like we already are like we have connections with people and like impacting the community, and like that's just what we want to do further, right?
Yeah. I guess I didn't ask you. Have you had that moment where you've like connected with bigger like accounts or
oh yeah. Yo, Sarah, thanks for the finger hearts. Welcome in. I would say, yeah. So, 3 weeks ago, I got to go to Summer Games Done Quick,
Oh yeah, yeah.
2022.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually met some bigger streamer names in person, which was super fun. One of the people I met was Chugga Conroy,
Wow,
who was
that's cool.
that was really cool. Yeah, and I told him that I was a bit of a Splatoon TikToker, and I had only recently found him actually from like his Splatoon 2 content.
Yeah.
But it was super cool to tell him, and he was like, "Wow, I had no idea. Like, I'm not on TikTok, or like for a lot of YouTubers, TikTok is kind of a foreign land,
Either foreign or they
or they just gold mine it for content."
that or they just don't want. It's like more competitive in that
Yeah,
sense. Like there's YouTubers, then there's TikToks.
yeah.
Which
And
it
for a
doesn't
lot of
have to
us,
be that way,
it makes
but
sense. I mean, for a lot of established YouTubers, that they're doing their thing already. They're successful. It's like, why do I need to throw in another platform into the mix?
right.
So
Yeah.
I completely get that. But yeah, it was cool to meet him and like a bunch of streamers I look up to, and they're all people, man. They're all just people, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the important thing to remember is content creators. They also have feelings behind the camera, So like, if people could just be chill and cool,
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
yeah.
Um, do you have any questions on your side, or?
Oh yeah, I will say the one like interaction that I freaked out was when I had a TikTok liked by Eddie Burback, and it was like a TikTok that
What?
yeah, it was a TikTok I made like a year or like almost a year ago. It was when Kanye West's Donda came out,
Yeah.
and I made a video with the sound jail, and it was guess who's going to jail tonight, and it was me like holding like a I don't remember what it was. It was like me as like a prison guard, and the caption was Nintendo when you mod a 20-year-old game that isn't for sale, and it was like guess who's going to jail tonight,
Uh
and
huh.
that was like one of my first viral videos, and I happened to catch that Eddie Burback liked it, and I screenshot it.
Oh yeah.
I was like, this is awesome.
Oh wow, that is so cool.
Yeah,
And you have that moment to like look back onto, and
of course.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I love stuff like
Damn,
that. I
that's
love. I
cool.
mean, I love fanboying. It's just like even if I'm however like successful I get, I'm still gonna fanboy over people just because they're cool.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
because you always want to play it cool, but
yeah,
then when
right.
it actually happens, you're like, "Well, yeah, thanks."
Yeah, yeah,
Um, let's see here.
yeah. If anybody in the chat has any questions, feel free to shoot them.
Yeah, because at this point, I think it's just kind of open about content creation and like, which is awesome because I actually really love content creation and talking about it. And like, I know there's a lot of bad to the negative or to the internet, but I do think that there's a lot of positives to the internet, like us having this conversation right now. Uh, Without the internet, we wouldn't be able to do that. So it's also just kind of like if you're looking for bad, you'll find it. But if you're looking
Yeah,
for good, then you'll also find that. Like it depends on who your circle is. And like with John Ebo, probably shouldn't be in my circle, but like he's somewhat of a good dude, so I keep him around. Uh
the first time I found John Ebo, I don't remember what like a first video, but he's got the consistent background, face cam, so he just kind of became known to me at some point.
right, yeah.
And then there was the whole debacle of, can we all agree that piracy is wrong?
Uh-huh.
And of course that went viral for like infinite number of reasons and a lot of like troll reactions. But I
Brody,
was
thank you for
like,
the
this
tiny
dude,
diamond.
this dude is not afraid to make people mad,
Dude,
and like
yeah.
he's got some tough skin to be on TikTok with all these kids.
He said that was a fun time.
Yeah, good times, good times.
Which I don't know if he's being sincere about that or if it was a rough time because I know for a while there were some videos that were coming his way that were like, all right, calm down.
But I think credit where it's due. Like I feel like that must have been a learning moment at some point, because I think a lot of John's content this year has been extremely positive, and like he's
Yeah,
just passionate about Nintendo. And so props to John, because he's definitely one of the OG Nintendo TikTokers.
yeah, I would say so. I mean, that's how I found him, was during the Animal Crossing days, and I
Oh
think it was
yeah.
even before New Horizons came out.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like
Uh,
a full year before I even had the app. So
yeah,
I'm just honored to be talking with you as well. I mean, it's cool.
yeah. Uh, Mikey, thank you for the roses.
Hacker voice. I'm in.
Johnny Evo says, "Yeah, I try to stay away now. That was when I was a baby."
Love it.
Mikey Design Wizard says, "I've met Chugga before too at Pokemon Symphonic Evolutions. That's cool."
Nice. Very cool.
Lily says, "It's nice to see your favorite character doing content, but at the same time, I think about their health. It's nice to see your favorite content creator doing. Oh, doing. It's nice to see your favorite content creator doing content, but I always think about their health. That is awesome, because I don't think a lot of people do. And most of the time, I think, for the younger generation, or maybe it's our generation, I don't know. I think the people are being trolls, but they don't realize that their actions are maybe causing harm to that person."
Yeah. And most of them are faceless or anonymous, or 14 or 13 years old, or
Yeah.
8 years old.
Yep.
I mean, like there is just no capacity as a content creator to like afford space to care about it, or to even like process it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like the minute it digs into your skin is the moment you've lost.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to like listen to them, because they're wrong anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Johnny Evo says, "I think it causes a lot of people to quit."
Yeah, I mean, and listen, not everyone who comes into streaming is going to stick with it, and that could be a positive or a negative.
Yeah.
Like if you try something and it doesn't work out, you still tried it, and maybe it branches off into something else, right?
Yeah.
Like you can definitely take skills from streaming and plug it into something else. Like it doesn't have to become like your thing entirely. Like everything we do, like everything leads to an alternative path at some point, like
Yeah.
it's never going to go how you think it is.
Yeah. No, that's a good point, though. Like, we're talking about content creation, but like some people cannot deal with it mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not even the trolls that may come your way, but just keeping up with content and replying to people, and everything that comes with it. It can be overwhelming. So
Yeah, it
it's not for everyone.
And that's that kind of, I could circle that back to like knowing your limits as well, because the internet is always going to move faster than what's humanly capable of us.
Yeah.
And that's true for streaming as well. I think you said earlier, streaming is kind of like a game. It's competitive, and you're never going to be on the edge of that competition just because somebody's always going to be live. You can't always be live. It's like you just kind of have to be at peace at your own pace. And when you are live and you are interacting, like I think it does take practice to not be overwhelmed.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's also like you should be happy for other people's successes. Like,
yes,
I believe in competition. Like,
yes,
I'm a competitive person. However, like Johnny Bo or Baldo or you, or just Janie, like if you all are crushing it, that's awesome, and that like helps in the long run if like you are all connected in one way or another. It's
absolutely.
It's good to see people thriving and doing the thing that they love too.
Yes. When I see people succeeding, it encourages me to say, hey, I could do it too. If they could do it, I could do it. Or I mean, I've met streamers who I've known since their first stream and who are like pushing for a partner right now.
Yeah.
It's like, that's just cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like we're all we're technically in competition, but I definitely agree that uh, competition, it can be friendly and positive in a way to kind of motivate each other, and
Yeah.
especially if we're all growing together like we really are right now. Like it's awesome. Oh, I dig the
Thanks.
shades.
Thanks, Baldo. Yeah, I don't know. Johnny Ebo and Baldo are kind of going back and forth right now. Johnny Ebo gave me a bunch of chicken legs, and I'm not really sure if
I
he's insinuating something.
love it.
Um,
So, Michaela asks, "What is your favorite game to play at the moment?"
oh, at the moment, do you have an answer?
Actually, yeah, I just thought of an answer to your burnout question. Like another one is I actually burnt myself out on Fall Guys after 1 week. Like
Like recently, or when it
yeah, like
first came out?
recently. Like I was doing the Fall Guys customs and I actually got like legit angry like for a rare time on stream where it was like I was getting stream sniped and in my own custom, which is usually fine, but like it just got to me and I was like not having any fun. And so I just like, and what I did in that moment was like, okay, guys, this is the last Fall Guys game. We're gonna switch to Wii games, and I did it on the same stream.
Wow.
I was like, we're just gonna stop and play Wii games.
And was
And
that, were you already playing Wii games before, or is that when that started?
I was already playing Wii games before. It just wasn't on the schedule.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, all right, we're just gonna pivot. We're just gonna pull a pivot move
Yeah.
because I don't want to experience any more burnout than like this. This is the breaking point where it's like, okay, I'm not having any fun right now, and people can tell. Which Fall Guys is a fun game. Like I love Fall Guys. I think it's hilarious. I think it's just full of personality, but like you can't just inject it into your veins every day. It's not going to be the same.
I mean, I think that is the same with every game. As much as like I want to play Splatoon all the time, I also don't want to get sick of it because it's my favorite series. Like
Yeah.
I just couldn't imagine playing that like 24/7 and then still enjoying it. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like we talked about it a little bit. Variety streaming is kind of looked down on, but I don't know any other way.
Yeah. And you know what? I think I'm kind of at a new perspective of variety streaming that I've never been at before, which is take it in chunks or take it in weeks where you have weeks to focus on one game, but then you switch it up. Or you have a one game focus, but you have a variety day or a community day where you do get to focus on like playing with the community. And it just comes with like experimentation too, because like if I see that a game is working, I'm gonna try to keep playing it until I'm done having fun. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like that's what I'm doing with Rhythm Heaven right now. Is just grinding Rhythm Heaven like endless scores and just enjoying the game because people are having fun and it's working really well. Like the past 2 weeks I've gained 10,000 followers, which is like, I looked at another statistic that said 1/3 of my following followed me in the past 60 days.
Wow. Congrats, man. That's awesome.
So I mean, thanks. It kind of scares me more than anything because it's like you kind of have to amp up and be that first impression all over again. But
I mean,
that's how it is.
So. That is what TikTok is, you know, the first impressions, like what we were talking about. But at the same time, you can't. I feel like that's where people get stuck is they're always trying to do like the best and biggest thing that they did before, and then they get burnt out, or they're just like, I don't know what to do, guys. Like I can't do this anymore. So it's almost like just keep doing what you're doing because that's what was working. But I understand that you still need to make it exciting. So it's so weird. Like
Tough.
as much as fun as content creation can be, it can also just be very, like we were saying, it can be stressful, but at the same time, it's like, what do I need to do to keep this going? Like, why are people following me? What will make them stop following me? And like, does that matter? No, it's the people that you have following you already that are going to stick around and support you. But yet we're still like fixated on numbers, which I mean, like, I know for me, and it sounds like for you, like that's not something that you really focus on, but I do think that we'd be lying to ourselves if that's not something that we look at.
Yeah, I think that's a important topic because the numbers definitely come into play in the eyes of everyone else that looks at your account. I feel like people are more inclined to follow an account with 50,000 than they are to an account with 50.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah.
it's kind of a psychological thing of more people. If other people enjoy it, I'll enjoy it. You know, whereas if you follow somebody with 50 followers, you don't know like if they're gonna keep making the same content or if they're gonna
Yeah.
even upload anymore. It's a weird thing, and it's definitely really challenging just to start with anything. But that's why even at the beginning, you just don't care about the numbers because they can never tell the full story of your content. And yeah, so that's definitely, and numbers on TikTok are just a completely different metric than on any other app.
Mm-hmm.
They're so inflated. I mean, there's so many users on this app. It's cool,
Yeah.
but you got to understand that that follower count does not represent your active community. But on the flip side, you have very many people watching you and who know you who are not following. I think that also needs to be remembered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the For You page, if you watch a stream, the For You page is going to remember that. It's going to scroll, it's going to give it to you again and again and again. I've had people say, man, you show up on my feed like 10 days in a row. And it's like, at some point, just hit the follow button, dude. Come on. But
They
like,
hit the
there are
follow
people who know
button.
you who don't follow you.
They hit the follow button, and then they probably aren't seeing your lives. Because,
Yeah, or after they hit the follow, then they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, so I came from Instagram. I would say that's when I really started to get into content creation. Like, I was creating Vines when that was a thing, and I had a Twitter, but like, didn't really like if I knew the stuff I knew now, and I like could go back in time and create all this content and like where it was headed, I think I would do really well. However, we can't do that. So you just kind of see what is working and what's not. But with Instagram, it was all about creating content for your followers because that's why they followed you. They were going to see your posts, at least in the early days before it was all about ads and how much money can we get out of you.
Right.
But then TikTok, completely different beast because you're basically creating content for people that have never seen it.
Yeah. And that's a challenge in and of itself just to retain those same people who you want to have gravitate towards your community because the way TikTok is designed is you just kind of scroll and forget. I mean, it's not really meant to be a place where like you have like your like on YouTube, you might watch like your 5 favorite YouTubers, but on TikTok, you're watching like 500 TikTokers a day. Like you don't remember them all. You might remember a few that get lucky and stand out.
Yeah.
Like who's your favorite TikToker? If you had to take a favorite TikToker right now, who would you say?
Mine is Straw Hat Goofy.
Okay, heck yeah.
He's like to see where he came from, and now he's getting invited to like red carpets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just like the work that he put into to get there, and just also creating content around the thing that he loves doing.
He's awesome.
He's awesome. And like
yeah.
He doesn't have sounds most of the time. It's just him. And that's like the level that I want to get at, is where I can just feel comfortable enough to put out content. My content is kind of hard to gauge at times because I know TikTok is mainly short form content.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do minute-long videos, and on average, like I'll get 1,000 to 5,000 views. Like that's my average, which for a minute video, like I'm okay with that. And sometimes like it will pop off, but that still is just really hard to gauge. Where I don't think that I would be able to without a sound. And maybe maybe I just need to try it and stop being afraid to just see what happens. I don't know if I would still reach the same audience. Or sometimes I think the sound actually helps elevate like my speaking or my emotions, because without it, I just sound to me, I sound
Yeah.
boring or just very dry. But when you add music behind it, it's like makes it more exciting, you know.
Have you ever encouraged like a stitch this before? Have you ever done that?
Never have. Yeah.
You should try it. I've done it a
Okay.
couple times where I ask a question and say stitch this or comment.
Yeah.
And that's a really like natural way to like give a video without a sound.
Yeah.
Because people are already used to that kind of familiarity of like stitch this. Um, and even if nobody stitches it, like people will still comment like their answer, and you can provide your own answer to a question without. And like it just kind of like is a good entryway for me. I've tried it a couple times.
I
The only
think
time, the only time it really worked was I asked, "Stitch this and tell me why do you still own a Wii U in 2022?" And people had something to say about that. Like I really love gauging the Wii U fans on this app.
Oh my god, I've had some videos where it's just like taken way out of context
Yeah,
about the Wii U, and it's just like, guys, I own a Wii U. Like
yeah,
that's how I know about Splatoon. Like that's
yeah,
I mean, Wii U had great games, but I think we can all admit like it flopped. Like there's no that's a fact. Like, but yeah, people will defend it, which is great. It's a great
yeah.
console, but oh
I'm definitely a revisionist historian when it comes to the Wii U. I'm like, this was the greatest console ever, and I mean, I'll say that just as a joke, and people will be like, "You got to be kidding me!"
I so you kind of brought up a good point, Brody. Thank you for the cake, and Baldo and John Ebo. Thank you for all the hats and whatnot. Asking people to like do stuff that I have such a hard time doing that. Especially when it comes to like money and like sub, you know. But like I was talking to my dad about it the other day, and he's like he supports what I do, which is really cool. But he's like, you gotta ask for money. Like I know that it's not about money for you, and it's true. It's not. Like I don't care if I get money or not. But he's like the time that you're putting in to content creation and streaming, you got to get something out of it. And also like I'm sure your followers would love to support you and like see the production value grow. I mean, not that that really matters because it doesn't matter if you have good equipment or not. It's if you're entertaining, right? But yeah, asking people that I don't even know. I think that's the other thing too. It's just like I don't want to be the stereotypical like, yo, what's up, guys? So happy you're here. Like, hit
Smash that
button.
like.
Keep hitting that like button. You know, give me some money, give me subs, and like, those are the people that are making it. Like, I get it, I get it. It's just hard for me to ask people to support.
Do you think that comes from like a self-aware point where you think like you don't deserve to be donated to, or do you feel guilty of asking others who like do you think they're getting their value out of a sub, or like what do you think?
Yeah, getting deep. I think you nailed it. Like, and I don't know what this is. Like, it's something that I've tried to work on, but like, I don't feel like I deserve anything or to be seen as someone. And that is, it's so cool when I make a post and people are like, we love you, Cheesy. We like your content. And it's just like, what the, like, what? Like, me? Like, I don't, go follow someone else. Go follow the people that have been doing this for years. Like, as grateful as I am that people want to follow me and like continue to watch my videos or you know follow me on Twitter or whatever it is, it's weird to think that I could be someone.
Dang, yeah.
Yeah. So to ask people to like give me money, who I was about to cuss, but like who am I? You know?
Yeah. It's rough for me as well. I think it definitely is a burden that we put on ourselves because honestly, like the most value any like monetary gift has is just the direct line of support it gives to the creator. And so I treat it as like just a message of support, saying like, if you want to take the extra mile, because I will encourage viewers to like tap the star or just like the stream. I'm usually a lot more encouraging of like the free ways to support,
Sure. Yeah.
which is hit the follow or like the stream or come to the Twitch or come subscribe to YouTube if you want. Um, and it is really hard to gauge because I have gone over the limit, I think, of asking people like to gift or sub, and I've like experimented with it. I've tried like doing different sub goals that didn't really pan out, or like trying to think of ways to like incentivize people. But then it definitely came to a point in me where it was like, I feel like I'm just a sales marketing rep, like
it can get that way. Yeah.
like trying to earn a commission.
Yeah.
And I mean that's kind of what it's like, but I'm also like, I'm not trying to be like a live infomercial for myself.
Yeah.
I want people to just be there to enjoy the content. And, I think it ultimately just comes to like the culture of the platform where like on TikTok, there is a culture of like gifting. And,
Well,
it doesn't really pay out much, but
check this out. Mitchell Monroe, thank you for the Thunder Hammers, the 10 Thunder Hammers. Even that for me is super weird to even acknowledge that people are like giving me things. And I think part of that is I would much rather help people, like help others, than help myself, which I know is like sounds depressing. I'm not trying to be depressing. That's just me. Like I would much rather give than to receive.
right.
So as much as I love content creation, that part of it is really hard for me. But people, they got to make that bag. And so I get it. Like, I understand that you got to push your name out there in many ways that are possible. And it shouldn't be a bad thing to ask people for money or gifts or whatever it is,
Yeah. I think it's kind of in the similar vein of like running your own business where, you are fully transparent with like the income you're receiving and you're managing your income, and you're fighting to provide like the value for others to see the value in you. Like my only experience in that outside of streaming is like I used to DJ weddings and
nice.
events
Yeah.
like in school and stuff, and dealing with clients in that regard is like very much like being customer first and doing all you can to give to others. But then, like the hardest part of that experience for me in that time was like how do I bill this person like the right amount?
Yeah.
Like any business is like has to learn like their own market, and I think like the market in streaming, if you can even call it that, is just like being yourself. Honestly, like it might be dystopian to say that you just have to market yourself, but I feel like most viewers, especially viewers who are like adults, because there's a lot of minors who they don't have money to support you, and that's fine. I'm never gonna like guilt somebody into not supporting me.
Yeah. Right. That would
be
awful. Yeah.
That's awful. Yeah. And like the fact that, and like even the fact that they're there to be in your community and watch you is equally supportive. Like it's never been about like strictly monetary gain. Like monetary gain is sort of is so misconstrued in streaming because people think they only look at the top 0.01% of streamers who are like like millionaire status,
Right.
and that's just not realistic.
It also got to a point where it's like we have to create content or do the things that we love, or like you run an Etsy on your own time because we're not making enough to support ourselves, so we have to turn our hobbies into a second job pretty much.
Right. Yeah.
So I get it. I understand why people are asking for money, and for some people like they really need it, and that is their way of making more money.
Michaela said, at least you aren't those people who sleep on live and ask for gifts to wake them up. Oh my gosh, there are some unhinged lives on this app.
But the thing is that it works.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be that person, but I am not dumb to, like, well, I guess I am dumb because I don't know how I was going to phrase that sentence, but it works.
Yeah.
It's
something
so
else.
odd.
Yeah. I mean, people have different values according to how they feel about it, or they just don't care. I mean, it is what it is, but
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep doing my thing, you know?
Yeah,
and
for sure.
people support that, then that's cool. Like, I listened to, like, a big streamer who I follow answer the question of, like, how do you make it in streaming? And the way they answered it was, don't really go into it expecting it. Just do it because you enjoy it. And
Right.
if it happens, then cool. And if not, then at least you enjoyed it and you learned through that experience. And, like, there were so many things I wanted to do before streaming as well. Like, I thought I would be, like, a DJ producer at some point, which is still, like, more of, like, a hobby. Like, you know, being a musician, I've kind of put that to the side a bit. But, like, I realized in my content that, like, I was becoming so less and less connected with, like, my personal self and more connected with just, like, my branded self. And so at some point this year, I began to shift that and said, hey, you know, I play the drums. I've never shown that to anybody. So I started making, like, a couple drumming videos.
They're good too. Like the Splatoon one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
I honestly haven't made any in a while, but, like, that was, like, one step for me to say I could be myself on here, you know, and, like, show more of myself.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I think people appreciate, and it shows respect when you can be, like, just a step more transparent with your audience however you can.
Yeah, I mean, like, you do get to the point of, like, hey, what's up, guys? Like, this is me, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, okay, but that doesn't really show me who you are. Like, I want to know, like, if I could do content like Eddie Burback or Drew Gooden, like any of those guys with gaming, like, I think that would be like hitting gold.
That would be your full circle moment.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm probably at a point for any, like, last questions or anything else you wanted to touch on.
No, I mean, like, I think this went a lot better than what we had even planned, which we didn't even plan anything. We were just let's talk.
I mean, it's the first time we've ever talked, so I feel like we could have just branched off into any direction.
Yeah. But I think for me, it's always nice. Like, I keep shouting out these guys, but like Baldo, John Ebo, Mitchell Monroe, just Janie, you, like, it's so nice to surround yourself around content creators because, like, it is competitive, but, like, just seeing those people thrive and always kind of thinking content creation and just having, because I know, like, as much crap as John Ebo gives me, I know he wants to see me succeed, you know, so that's always nice too, just to have your squad, your group.
Absolutely. It's so much harder alone. Like, if you're doing this on your own, like, you might be alone at the start, but it gets so much better when you make connections.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm really grateful for the time. This was awesome.
Right on, man. Like,
I guess one final question is, like, all right, I'll ask Splatoon 3 day one. What are you jumping into first?
Oh, the story mode. And
okay.
I don't know if I'll stream it.
Interesting.
That's the other hard part about streaming is, like, finding the games that you want for yourself and finding the games that you want to play with the viewers. As much as I am, like, the Splatoon lore guy on here, I don't think that I could take that experience away from myself. Like, I don't think I'll stream it.
That's interesting. But, like, yeah, I mean, because if you're streaming it, there's, like, a compartment of your head that's, like, not as focused on the game.
Yep.
And if you're playing it alone, you'll probably notice a lot more about the story as well and be able to internalize it more for your videos.
I've noticed too, like, when I am playing story mode games, I like to do, like, kind of voice acting. But then when I'm reading it, I have no idea what I just read because I'm, like, focused on the voice and is it entertaining? Like, are they liking it? And then it's like it was like some kind of instructions as to what you're supposed to do, and people are like, did you not read what you're supposed to do? You know, like it was right there, and I am not even focused on it. So yeah, I'll jump into the story mode. You?
Probably the multiplayer.
Yeah.
That's where I get the most enjoyment out of the game. But we'll see. I'm still hoping for at least a new mode. Maybe we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot is being hidden in a direct right now. At least I hope. I made that
Yeah.
video yesterday about how I could be worried about Splatoon. Some of those are still kind of there, but I do think that as big of a game it is in Japan, like they are going to want to make sure it's like the best that it can be. If it's too samey, I mean, I don't know. People will probably still buy it, but like it's not going to last very long. And then who knows if people will buy the next one?
Yeah. This is definitely one of their biggest releases of the year, and so I hope and pray that they're capitalizing on that. But I mean, and not just saying like, not just like releasing it for the namesake, you know.
Yeah.
Which it is a namesake. Like Splatoon is like one of the top Nintendo franchises at this point.
Yeah, and so is Animal Crossing. I mean, it still is.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing still is. But
Facts.
I don't know, man.
But regardless, I'm excited. You know,
yeah,
it'll be fun. I actually don't. I mean, I am gonna stream it, but I don't know like what I'm gonna do with it yet. Like, I might do viewer matches and then just have fun with it, or I might just stream it on Discord, as well.
Yeah. I've been wanting to make a video, and I know you got to get going. I've been wanting to make a video about how, like, seasons and battle passes was before Splatoon 2. Like,
wow.
that kind of came after, So, like, that was
crazy.
July 2017. And I mean, I couldn't tell you. July 21st. That's when Splatoon 2 came out. I couldn't tell you when, like, Fortnite and their seasons really started, because I feel like that's where it all started.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes you wonder if, like, they're going to go do something with that approach, or if Nintendo's going to Nintendo and just, like, not even think that is a thing.
I don't know. When you look at, like, they seem like they're kind of like trying to do that with like their content updates, but that's not the same as like a season or like a competitive season. Like I played a lot of Mario Tennis Aces. That was one of my favorite online games for a while, just for the gameplay. I mean, I think that's a great game. And they would do like some like seasonal stuff with like new characters and stuff, but like it's just not to the level that like Epic Games is doing it or leading the charge of the industry. Yeah. And I think it's going to take Nintendo another 10 years before you ever see a season pass or anything like that.
Yeah, they're always behind the times. Someone made a good point though, like on that video I made, and I talked about Animal Crossing, for example, because they're made by the same development team, Animal Crossing and Splatoon.
Right.
That Animal Crossing was mainly a single player game. Like, yes, you could have your friends come over and that would add to the experience, but Splatoon is mainly an online game, and I think that's a good point. Like, they gotta keep it updated.
Facts.
Yeah.
I could go on for hours about this. I'm sure you could as well.
Yep. But at some point, I think we gotta call it. And this has been great, man. Like, I don't know what we'll do with the next one, but I feel like we should have more of these and answer people's questions. And
absolutely.
Yeah, really great to meet you.
Yeah, it was great to meet you, Cheezy, as well. And to my followers, be sure to hit them with a follow.
The same as the DaftHusky. Right on.
Right on, dude. Yeah, so we'll definitely do this again.
Cool. I'll see you either here, Twitter, wherever, all over the place.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Right on.
Lovely talking to you, man.
All right. Bye.
See ya.